Okay.
Alrighty. So, well, why don't we, it's 7 o'clock and 7:03 actually. So we'll go ahead and get started. I know I had a couple of people indicate that they would try to come in if they could. But it's difficult to get everybody. I was on a meeting last night with the GLT folks, and I think there were 3 of us on there. So everybody's busy. All righty, so I have, let's see, I'm going to see if I can share the screen here. If I get the right thing up here. Well, I'm going to put this up right now. And this is our committee right now, just so you guys can see who's on it. I thought I sent this out possibly, but right now we've got Lula and Ron from A1.
Well,
and,
yeah, I'm from A2.
I'm sorry. Oh, Ron's A2.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's good. That's good to know. Thank you. So that fixes that issue. So myself, I'm from B1. B2 doesn't have anyone as of yet. District Governor Julie is going to be with us when she can. Tonight was a bit of a conflict for her. We have Charis Austin from C1. She's a long-term member of this committee. Kenny is from C2, and he just came on the committee last year. I don't believe we have anybody from D1. I've been copying their district governors on these notes and things in case they fill somebody. And then D2, we have Tim Dietzel. He's been on the committee. E1 is Larry Allman, and he's also been on the committee. And a new person is Jim Broom from E2. So that's that's our committee. And I'm hoping to see if I can find my agenda here. One of these things. Here we go. So here's this is what we were going to talk about tonight. Welcome and introductions, and so we have a guest, and that's Andrea. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, yes, my name is Andrea. They call me Lion Sam. I go by Sam. I'm in District A1, and I'm honored to be a guest today. Thank you very much. Lula Godfrey, District Governor, Vice District Governor, asked me to join because we're working on the trying to send out information on World Sight Day to make people aware, or to make them re-aware, to get their eyes checked. So just trying to see what's going on and anything, just to learn from you. We're here to gather information. Anything you want me to send out, just let me know.
Okay. And so World Sight Day, that's
Thursday, October 13th.
Right.
But, I think they're doing activities through the whole month of October, but the actual day is the 13th.
Okay. All right. And is there something specific organized for that, or?
Well, we're just getting involved, and when I went on, we had some difficulty finding information. I talked to Kresge Eye Institute. They didn't get back. I tried emailing some people out of the International Association for Prevention of Blindness out of England. It bounced back. So at this point, we're just trying to be aware, and I want to build on it next year. So I I wrote up something that it's ready to go out. I just wanted to see if anything I needed to add today. And I have a lot of photos in it, and then Lula Godfrey had something else to follow, because I know people get tired of reading. And basically, and I can get it to you too, or get your email from Lula and get it to you. It's just real brief, saying that we need to get our eyes checked. And one photo shows a healthy eye, and they talk about, contact lenses. One of the new fads is that they're trying to get particularly children to get, young adults to get contact lenses off the internet, without a prescription, and that could be very damaging to, either short-term or permanent damage. So we want to discourage that. And the other thing, I showed a picture of an eye with a darker brown color. it could be as simple as just a pigmentation or like a freckle in the eye, or it could be a cancer, a melanoma. Just trying to show the difference. You need your eye doctor to tell the difference. So basically to improve awareness and encourage eye checkups.
That's great. So yeah, that's one of the things I think we can do as a committee is, if we get this information, we can disseminate it to our own districts.
Right. And then we'll have a follow-up one too. Of course, I'm looking for my pen right now, and it goes.
We had, in the meantime, we had Larry Allman join us.
Okay.
Yep, I'm here.
Can you put your email in the chat? Because I pulled over to the side of the road so I can get that.
Okay, all righty. Let's see. Okay, in the chat. So let's see. I'm working on 2 screens now, so let's
When you get a chance.
share. I'll just go back to the big screen, and then that's a little easier for me to see that. So, okay, so I'll just put it in for everybody. Roger Bossy at att.net. There we go. So that's me. All right, Larry, welcome tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad you can join us.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, all right, good.
I can. All the way from where are you, Larry? Up
I'm
in
in 1181. It's Greenville. I'm
Greenville.
30 miles northeast of Grand Rapids.
Okay, that's up by Camp Tishimada, right?
Tushmahita.
Tishimahita. I never pronounce it right.
Yes, 8 miles west of me.
It's a great place. All righty. Well, Lion Sam, thank you for coming in with us tonight. You can hang
Thank
out
you.
as long as you like.
Okay, thank you. I would like to listen
Okay.
as I drive. I'm going to cut the screen off in a minute, but I'd like to listen.
Okay. And if you want to, like I say, if you want to send me that information, then I
I will.
can forward it out to the rest of the committee, and then we can decide, how the best way is to distribute that to,
Oh,
our
thank you.
fellow Lions in the state here. So that's, we're kind of like a spokes of a wheel, I guess.
Okay, that'll work.
We should be able to get information out. I don't know how the other districts work, quite honestly, and maybe Ron, you can fill me in on this, but like we would send something like this to our district secretary, and then she would forward it out to all the clubs to to share with their members. So
Sounds good.
if we can do that.
That's the way I was thinking too.
Okay.
I would put it in our district newsletter.
Right.
And we do the same. We send it to our cabinet secretary and he disseminates to the clubs.
So that's
Okay.
a great way to get the word out. That's for sure.
Yes.
So the districts that's on the phone call now are this A2.
We have
Yep, here.
A2, A1, B1. Let's see, C2 and E1.
Thank you. Very good.
Okay, A2. All right, I'll correct that on my sheet, Ron. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the agenda. So the White Cane mission statement. To enhance the public awareness of the White Cane Law and to meet the challenges of visually impaired individuals today and tomorrow through our vast knowledge and wisdom and the strength of Lionism. So that's one of the things we keep in mind. Actually, I had sent out a note when I first started on this committee. I was really bugging Wendy Burns a lot, saying, "Hey, what are we supposed to do?" And so one of the things I sent out to you guys when I sent that note out earlier in the month was a job description for the Site Conservation Committee, and of course I can't find the hard copy, but I think I could pull it up if I needed to. There's a lot of stuff, and that we could be doing besides White Cane and besides the scholarships. I'm just going to read a couple of these things. Develop training and educational programs suitable for clubs. Make Lions clubs aware of services that are available to the blind and visually impaired. Mobility training, rehabilitation, social and recreational services. And then support legislation protecting the blind and partially sighted. It goes on to talk about White Cane Week and promoting that. The forum, which is where we do our White Cane, kind of get active with our White Cane stuff through the scholarships. And then the last thing on here was stimulate club activities that promote sight conservation, glaucoma screening, collection of used eyeglasses, and dissemination of large print books to the visually impaired. Work with professionals and organizations to develop such programs. Work closely with the Health Department and Social Services Department of the state of Michigan for eye examinations and eyeglasses for the needy. Promote eye screening programs, and that would be like KidSight. And everybody's aware of KidSight. So that's a pretty good description of ways that our group can be effective, and figuring out the right one and the most effective way to do that is probably always the challenge. But I know a lot of those things fall into categories that our clubs participate in. Collection of eyeglasses, for eyeglass missions, KidSight testing. Are those who are on the call, are your districts involved in KidSight testing?
Yes,
For the young kids?
Levity one is.
A1 is.
You guys have your own trailer, have a trailer, one of the new trailers that they use, or just use a camera and
No,
find a dark?
A1 has a trailer also.
Okay.
I think Levity one has a trailer.
I was thinking all of them have one. But I'm not sure about
I think C2 has 2 trailers.
that. Okay. I think we borrowed one.
Yeah.
Somebody down here borrowed one from either C1 or C2. I couldn't remember because we have one trailer and it was double booked. So, but that's it's like, it's interesting on that KidSight testing. You go to certain areas and sometimes you get a lot of referrals, and other areas you may not get that many referrals, and it's kind of, it's just kind of interesting to know why that would be. We had one group over in Jackson that had about 30% of the kids tested were referred for further testing, which they thought was quite high. So anyway, it's a great program, and I hope that everybody's doing that. It kind of got on a hiatus during COVID, but I think districts are starting to get on the ball and start rolling out the testing again. Of course, now we're
I know C2 is doing a lot of testing with RISA.
RISA.
Yeah, which is a handicap school.
Oh, okay.
School for the disabled.
Okay. And where's that located?
We got one up here in St. John's, but most of them are, there's a lot of places all over our district.
Okay. Well, preschool, we did one at the fair. They did them at the fair down in this area over the summer, and it's wherever you can get kids.
Yep.
It's a great place to do it. So, well, so anyway, so that's our mission, to help promote sight and to do what we can to help others see better. So, but what I wanted to do was kind of get into, just kind of go over some information about the White Cane Scholarship, since that's coming up. The application was redone by our member Cheris Austin, and the complaint had been that the application form that we have had is not accessible. And because of some of the graphics on it, it made it difficult for screen readers to, to use the form so that a person could fill it out themselves, using screen readers or other assistive devices. So Cheris was good enough to go through and essentially rework the application to make it's a fillable PDF, but it's a lot, it's not as fancy looking as the old one. But there's a reason for that, because the fancy graphics and stuff are great for us that can see, but not so great for screen readers for somebody that's blind. So that application is now on the website, the Michigan website, and it's available to be distributed. So I was going to ask that, and I think I sent a link to that. But it would be great if our committee could send this application out to, if you have a school or if you have a university in your area that has programs for the blind, or have programs that specialize in blindness or mobility training. Because I've learned that a lot of folks that are blind actually get into these programs to help other folks that are blind. So, like in our area, Western Michigan University has a specific graduate program for mobility and mobility training and mobility assisting. So they have a number of students who are blind that are in their program. So, but I know of others who, it's like, there's we haven't gotten a ton of applicants in the last couple of years. We've had probably maybe 7 to 8, maybe, if that many. And Ron, you might be able to shed some light on this. Was there a time when you had a lot of applicants that you had to pick from?
I don't recall us getting that many before. I've been on the committee, I know, 5 or 6, 7 years. I don't recall a whole lot of applications coming in.
Okay.
That.
All right.
Well, Wendy would, she should have a better idea than I do.
Right. So I know that sometimes she feels like they're not coming in very fast. So anyway, I know.
We just announced it at all our meetings. We announced it at all our meetings that the applications are out there, and we have a lion who sends out information, all the notables in the district, and that has the application, where to go and how to fill it, like good stuff on it. So
okay, great. Well, that's kind of what we need to do is get the thing out there to people, so that if they know somebody, they can refer them to the application, and they can request them, put in a request. So one of the things we talked about last year, and it didn't happen last year, we, as those who have been on the committee know, we have 3 scholarships generally, but then we've always had a 4th person that seems to be, really talented and could use the money, but didn't quite make the first 3 cut. So I'm going to call into the Council of Governors meeting this weekend and talk to them about getting funding for a 4th scholarship.
How much are the scholarships for?
They're $3,000 each.
$3,000 each. Wow.
Right. And the money comes from it's a fund. It's not the state budget, which makes it easier. It's out of a fund called the Grace Lang Memorial Fund. And this was set up back in the 70s by this Grace Lang person, because she wanted students to be able to continue their education, especially those who are blind and visually impaired. So that's that's when this started out with the White Cane. They used to have a White Cane. Well, with White Cane Week, they had a White Cane Queen, and they did these scholarships, and you know, it was kind of a big festive thing. I wasn't around then when that was happening, so I can't really say more than that. But Wendy had pictures of white cane queens from years past. So the deadline is for application. It used to be November 30th. Now it's December 30th, because I think they wanted to give a little bit more time for people to get these things in. And then I just submitted to Wendy today an article about the White Cane Scholarship, because it's going to appear, the application itself is going to appear in the Lion Pride whenever that comes out, the next edition.
So there's three $3,000.
Right. Currently there are, in the past, we've done three $3,000 scholarships.
Wow.
And then those are awarded at the Michigan Forum.
Right.
So if you've been to a Michigan Forum before COVID, they would have the scholarship winners at the banquet in the afternoon, and then they would, the chair would introduce them, and they would come up and give them like a brief speech about what they wanted to do, and to thank the Lions for the scholarship. And then they get they don't get the check directly. They get a fake check, and then the funds itself are transmitted directly to the school that they're going to be going to. So in order to apply for the scholarship, they have to be an admitted student to an institution. It doesn't have to be a university. It can be a community college. But they have to have been accepted. And we've actually eliminated some people in the past because they weren't accepted yet. They were applying, but they weren't accepted. And so it was kind of like, well, you really need to be accepted, because if you decided not to go, then it would be kind of a problem. So that's kind of the way it works. We have given a stipend. So for like the fourth place person for the last 2 years, we've given like a $500 stipend, which we've pulled from the site conservation funds in the state. So, but it was discussed last year at the Council of Governors that they thought the fund was in good enough shape that we could afford to have another scholarship. Now that was before things happened with the stock market, and so I'm not sure what kind of shape the fund's in right now. But I'm going to make the request this Saturday and see what happens. So we may have 4, we may not. So, any other questions about the scholarship? So then the next part of this White Cane is the White Cane supplies. And I just noticed today that on the so the White Cane supplies are items that clubs can order to facilitate and help with their White Cane Week fundraising week. So usually in non-COVID years, people would order these things, and rather than spend the money to send them out via the postal service, we would package them up, and then when they come to the forum, they can pick up their supplies. So that could be stickers, that could be aprons, could be pins. There's a variety of things which are listed on the Lions of Michigan website under the White Cane tab. So you can go on the Lions of Michigan website and look up to see what the items are. And I think Wendy went through and maybe selected some things. She was going to kind of look for some new items to put on there. One of the really cheap things you can get is a certificate of appreciation, and essentially it's just a form, but it's a form that you can print out, or they'll send you a hard copy. It's a nice heavy certificate. They're like 60 cents, and you can if you're working with a business to let you raise funds in front of their business or what have you, you can give them a certificate of appreciation, and they They always like that. So that was a thing that we got some this last year to use. And I wasn't in charge of it, but I think it's a good thing, and it's pretty inexpensive. The you know, you can get eyeglass collection boxes, which are way cheaper than buying them from LCI. So I would, sorry. My phone is very obnoxious. So we distribute those in February, and as long as we aren't canceled again like we were the last 2 years with COVID, hopefully the committee members can help package those things up, come to the forum, and help distribute the items to the clubs that have ordered. White Cane Week is going to be April 23rd to May 1st. This is another thing that the committee can do, is to help promote White Cane Week. However you can do that through dissemination of information, as Ron was. Excuse me just a minute. I need to call you back, please. All right. Hey, I'm in a meeting. All right. That's all right. Okay. Bye-bye. Sorry. Okay. Now, the next thing I had on the list.
Roger, can I say something?
Sure can.
It's a little unusual this year. I know when I'd asked you before when the White Cane weekend was, but because May 1st falls on like the last possible day of the thing, it's 23rd through the 1st. It's mostly April, so it comes a little bit early that for most people, if they're planning on a normal White Cane thing. But I know I was surprised. We picked the wrong dates too, so, and I think you straightened us out on that, so thank you.
So did you have earlier dates, or
Yeah, we actually went later because we were thinking the last weekend of April was the what would have been the 29th, 30th, and May 1st and that, but it's the 20th, and May 1st kind of sneaks in there
right?
on us at the end. But just a lot of people don't know until we announce what the days are. So I know we were a little bit confused on it. So
Well, the other thing about that, Ron, is that I don't know that you have to comply with those particular dates. I mean, that's just when the Michigan Lions say that we would designate that. What it does do is, a lot of times we will have mayors, the governor will make a proclamation that April 23rd through May 1st is White Cane Week, which is something you can use with local businesses to say, hey, it's this is the thing. We want to, we'd like to use your business to help raise funds. So it's, but they put that date in, I guess, a long time ago. And then, then the governor's office has to say, yeah, okay, that's fine.
I believe doesn't up north, don't they do theirs in the summertime?
They might.
I'd heard some clubs do that. So,
like I say, I mean, you can kind of do it whenever you want to do it, but that's when it kind of designates it as the official week, and because the other thing, and this kind of gets into what Lion Sam was talking about, there's coming up on October 15th is White Cane Safety Day. So that can kind of confuse people as well, because that's coming up this month. So,
Hey, Roger.
yes.
The St. John's Lions Club, we do ours about a week, maybe 2 weeks after the actual dates because of weather.
Okay.
up here it gets cold. Up here between between my birthday, April 21st, and May 1st, it's usually cold. So sitting outside, it's real cold. So most of my club members want it warm.
Right. Well, hey, your club, your way, that's
Yep.
so that's and probably to Ron's point, the folks up north, even further north, probably do it in the summertime. So,
Yep.
I mean, it's just kind of it's a way to focus whether you do it April 23rd to May 1st or May 15th to the 30th or whatever. It's a way to focus your energies on and promote locally, the fact that the Lions clubs are here. That's some of the most exposure that Lions clubs get is during White Cane Week, whenever that might happen to be. Because I know from my experience, standing out there with my little cane, to collect money, and I get lots of people coming up. I don't even have to say anything, I've got my vest on or my hat on or whatever, and they say, hey, I had help with glasses when I was a kid, here's $10, help somebody else. So it's a great exposure for the Lions, and it shows you're out doing things, and you can talk to people. I found it a great way to, possibly drum up new members in the club, because they want to know what you're doing, and so you can talk to them about Lions, and it's just I think it's a great thing. So COVID was a little hard, just because especially the first year, because you couldn't handle money and people were afraid to stop and talk, and so hopefully things will get better this spring.
Roger,
Yes,
can I just say something?
sure can.
In line with that, for the last 2 years, 11A1 has had the mayor of Detroit do a proclamation.
Uh-huh.
And then we have a symbol in front of our county building and taken pictures. And I'm gonna try this year to see if we can get a representative. The first year we had two representatives from the mayor's office to take pictures with us.
Okay.
So this year I'm gonna try to see if the mayor himself would be available. But that's something we have been doing to promote White Cane Week.
So what kind of a symbol do you have? Like eyeglasses or something, or what do you take a picture with? Is it like something?
No, it's a proclamation. We just stand there and hold the proclamation that the mayor's office does for us. And then the representative from District 11A1 is there with and then we put it in our newsletter and send it out.
Okay. Do you have like a local paper? Like we have a thing in Battle Creek called the Shopper News, the Battle Creek,
Uh-huh.
and it's like a community. It's free, and it's like a community paper, and everybody reads it. Nobody reads the regular
Newspaper.
but they all read the Shopper because it actually has what's going on in town. So we find it's useful, especially on things like White Cane, to put an article in prior to the event, and people, can kind of get thinking about it. And then when they see us out there, then, they're more apt to know what's going on. So
Yeah. Our news person, Michelle White, sends out press release.
Yeah.
And we try to get in as many papers as we can that are free, and see if that would publicize it to enhance people to contribute.
Yeah, that's great. Now, Ron had a good idea, and this was something that I talked to him about a couple of years ago, but are you still sending out letters?
We are doing that. Well, we actually have two collections a year. We do a White Cane at the normal time, and right after giving, we do a candy cane. So, but for both of them, we send out letters to the friends and neighbors and that, asking them for a donation. So, and it works pretty well.
Yeah, that was,
Um,
it was an interesting way that you do that with, with word, word gymnastics, to address all your letters personally. Um,
Here's,
Yeah.
here's another suggestion. Put it on your Facebook page.
Right. Could I ask Kenny, what did he mean? I guess, Roger, you saying there was another unique way that they sent their letters out? What way is that?
So, so in Word, if you're familiar, in Word, the Microsoft Word,
Yes,
you can load in a list of names,
yes,
and you can have it print. If you've got a stock letter, you can have it print a letter with each of those names on it. So, dear Fred, you know,
Yeah.
dear John, dear Martha, coming to you with with an appeal for funding. So it's a little more personalized. It's a little bit, like I say, it's a little bit technical. And if you've got somebody that's good with Word, and I think actually, Ron, your person sent me the instructions.
Oh, yeah, probably Vice District Governor Kelly Unruh handles it.
Right.
And maybe it's Eileen. Eileen also. Eileen's the chair, but Kelly does the letters. So,
Okay.
oh,
well,
I'll see her
Lulu,
tomorrow.
you know Kelly. You know Kelly Unruh.
I'll see her tomorrow. I'm gonna
Okay.
ask her.
Yeah.
Okay.
About that.
Yeah, yeah.
It was-
We also have like Fox 2 News, which is local. I don't, if we can catch their eye, maybe it can be presented on there. It's a local news station in the morning. They'll show a lot of community events like the breast cancer walk and things of that nature.
So I think it'd be a good idea if we, since we have a little bit of time, we could put together like a list of different ways to promote white cane, unless there's something that already exists. And maybe Lions LCI has something like that, but it would be useful, because a lot of people they say, okay, well, white cane, we'll just go out and we'll collect, but I'm not sure. I mean, maybe more than I think actually go out and promote it prior to that to get the community interested. So,
Well, right now, my district puts it on their Facebook page, and my cabinet secretary puts it on, or sends the email out to all the clubs. And when White King comes around, I'm going to be putting it on my St. John's Lions Club Facebook page. So that's the best way I could do it.
yeah, well, that Facebook reaches a lot of people, for
Yeah,
sure.
it does.
And then there's Instagram, which I don't use.
Did I ask you, Kenny, what exactly do you say on your Facebook?
Right now, I just tell them that the White Cane is gonna be coming up, and we're gonna be doing our when we are gonna be doing our White Cane, and where the places that we do the White Cane at.
Okay,
Sometimes people will put together a flyer, which you can.
Yeah, that too.
Right. So there's lots of ways to do it. I'm going to look at LCI and see if they have any other specific ideas on promotion. For us, it's it's like our biggest fundraiser, really. We haven't found a golf outing or one of those kind of things to raise it, 10, 15 grand, or a charity poker thing. Since we have a casino in Battle Creek now, charity poker is kind of like, out of the question. But anyway, but it's a big fundraiser week for lots and lots of clubs. So anyway, this kind of gets, the next item gets into what Lion Sam was talking about. Because one of the things, and again, this was Cheris last year, and I actually haven't followed, I didn't think about following up with Wendy on this today, but when I sent her some stuff. But every month has like some vision aware, there's like hamburger month, or there's ice cream Sun's Day, all those sorts of things. But there is, every month has some sort of a vision focus. And October is like full of things for vision. And so it's Vision Awareness Month, and it's World Blindness Awareness Month. It is Meet the Blind Month, World Sight Day, which is what Sam was talking about, which is the second Thursday of October, which would be the 13th of October this year. October 15th is the White Cane Safety Day. October 15th is also Blind Americans Equality Day. And there is a National Braille Week in October, and a Home Eye Safety Month in October. And it's like, October seems to be the biggest month for vision awareness. And I'm not sure why that is, but one of the things that Cheris said, she put together a list of these things, and I can send this out to you all so you have it as a reference. Maybe your newsletters would be interested in being able to promote this, just like we talked about the World Sight Day with Sam. So anyway, that's we had an article, I think it was Cheris that wrote an article last year for the White Cane Safety Day, and it's kind of it's similar to White Cane Week, which is promoting the law, but White Cane Safety Day is another. I mean, I think the people in the blind community look at White Cane Safety Day and October 15th as the White Cane. That's the day. I don't know that the Lions have, at least that I'm familiar with, have focused on that as much, other than to put it in their newsletter. So if there's things like that, World Sight Day, that we can get involved with to help promote, then I would say that's something we ought to do.
Could you explain again? Did you say Safety Day was promoting the law?
Well, the White Cane Week, that like the April 23rd through the May 1st, that's a lot of the flyers and promotional information that Lions have really promotes the law, and talks about the law, like you have to give way to a person
Yes.
with a white
Yes.
cane,
Yes.
and it talks about the history of the White Cane. The White Cane Safety Day is very similar, but it's and I don't know how much different it would be, but it's more, hey, be on the lookout for somebody with a white cane, no matter if you're driving, because actually I think it was Cheris or somebody said that, even if you get arrested, if you hit somebody, for some reason, or you didn't give way, or somebody had to jump out of the way of a blind person, there's really not much penalty for it. It's on the books, but there's not a lot of penalty for it. So a lot of folks in the blind community think that that the law itself is actually somewhat diluted. It's not.
Mr. Chairman,
Pardon?
how come we didn't know about this a month or so ago? Our district newsletter comes out the first of the month.
Yeah, I was too. That's my fault.
Well, that's why. My apologies.
That's okay, but
But like I say, the Lions, typically it isn't on the radar as much. So, White Cane is on the radar, but some of these other things aren't on the radar as much. So, I think that's something that we as a committee can help to promote, and get it on the radar. So, like I say, I will send this out to all of you. It's just a couple of pages, and it has all the different months and the different. So next month, so Larry, next month, diabetic eye disease month, okay, in November. So you can have that in your newsletter for next month, and if we have a write up on the White Cane Day, and I know that we have one of our members that's a mobility specialist, and she has shirts that talk about October 15th, White Cane Day. So I will get, and Cheris Austin actually also would be pretty knowledgeable on what exactly the definition of White Cane Day is and why we celebrate it. So I'll make sure I get that to everybody.
Let me clarify something. We thought White Cane Day was the 13th
It's the 15th.
and I thought safety was the 15th.
White Cane Safety Day, White Cane Day is the 15th.
It's
World
the 15th.
World Sight Day is October 13th.
Okay, all right.
So they're right together. And, there's probably a definition around World Sight Day, which I think Sam sounds like that's what she's working on.
Right,
Get some definition around that. And,
okay.
we can always, like I say, even if it's not in the newsletter, we might be able to get it into the Lion Pride. Today was supposedly the deadline, but maybe they can insert something in the calendar at least that would show that. So I'll check with Wendy. She wasn't sure that she was going to be able to make it tonight. Wendy's a person that always kind of keeps us in line as the administrator. She does all the behind the scenes work on all this stuff, really. So she's an invaluable resource. So the last thing I was going to talk about, and then we can open it up for other questions, but I was just made aware, and in the note I sent out today, I included this. The American Federation of the Blind announces the introduction of the Websites and Software Applications Accessibility Act. So this is legislation that's been proposed by Tammy Duckworth of Illinois and Representative Sarbanes of Maryland, and they've been working with the National Federation of the Blind, the American Council of the Blind, and the National Disability Rights Network on the bill's introduction. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. But it's so the bill addresses. I'll just read it to you here. The bill addresses one of the biggest barriers investigated in American Federation of the Blind's research, covering the COVID-19 pandemic, workplace technology, and education by requiring that employees, employers, state and local governments, and private businesses make their websites and applications accessible. In each of the American Federation of the Blind 6 studies conducted since 2020, digital inclusion, or the lack thereof, has been a recurrent theme, with blind and low vision people experiencing frustration, wasted time and money, and exclusion from programs, activities, and services. The legislation would affirm that Americans with Disabilities Act applies to websites and applications, but it also stands alone. It would require the Department of Justice and Equal Employment Opportunity Commission to establish a clear and enforceable uniform national framework for website and software application accessibility and ensure that accessibility standards keep pace with new and emerging technologies. Importantly, it would hold third-party technology developers accountable for providing accessible websites and applications to other businesses. So if one of the things that, so I've been involved over here. So one of the things I do is winter camp for the blind. And recently we started a couple of years ago with doing our winter camp virtually because we couldn't meet in person. So, and then we started doing monthly chats with our campers, and we've pulled in folks from actually New Hampshire, St. Louis, Arizona, and so we actually chartered a Lions Club with these folks. And one of the things, as we were working through this process, one of the things that is very apparent, obvious, is that the Lions Club International website is not accessible for folks who are blind or visually impaired.
That is true.
And so this is one of the complaints as we were looking at starting this club, because this, and actually there's one person in the club that's sighted, and he is the secretary. Because it's almost, it's not impossible, but it's very difficult for a person to access all of the things in Lions on their website if because of the inaccessibility of the website. So one of our winter camp folks sent me this article about this legislation, because she said we need to start pounding on the door of LCI to make them, make their website more accessible. Because and quite honestly, I went to a seminar a few years ago, and I took a person who was very low vision. I can't remember the condition, but she couldn't see any of the PowerPoint presentations that were on the board. And it was kind of like, this isn't doing me much good, because I can't see any of this stuff. So Lions Clubs tends to be kind of a visual operation. And so anyway, so that's an opportunity for the Lions. And one of the campers went to the international convention and actually talked to some of the technical people and said, why don't you, at least, why don't you provide your program in Braille, or, like if you've got a program for the evening meal, have it in Braille so that somebody that's visually impaired can actually read the thing and participate. So anyway, so I thought that was pretty interesting, and actually that pops up at one of the items in our job description is supporting legislation protecting the blind and partially sighted. So
Do they have a committee that's working on it? Because we need to have that website improved. Do they have a committee? Do we have a committee that's working on it?
that I can't tell you if they do. I
Okay.
know that the person that went to the convention, her name's Rosemarie Facilla. She's over in Muskegon, and she was actually invited to participate with their committee to start looking at that, because they
Wow.
recognize that is an issue.
That
And
would look bad for us not to have a visually impaired accessible
Mhm.
site.
I know,
That's
I
really
know.
bad. Now, someone just told me, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I tried it out the other day, or last week rather, that I think it's Control-Alt-U, and they will read to you what's on the screen on the computer.
Like in the website.
No, I know. I mean, just like if you had a Word document up,
Oh, I see.
I think it's
Um,
Control-Alt-U, and it reads to you. It was pretty good. I tried out what's on there, and the person who told me is not visually impaired, but he said he'll listen to the Word documents while he's
Yeah.
doing something else.
It's in Windows 11.
That is-
Okay,
That's true, Sam.
is that the right? Did I have the right?
I don't know if you have the right thing, but I by mistake did it one time. But it is a capability that it can read to you.
Yeah. Maybe we need to put that out too, because some people may not know. I'll try to see if I can find that when I get home too.
a lot of
Send that in the
people,
letter.
there's a lot of folks that use their programs called like JAWS that are screen
Right,
readers.
right.
Oh,
that's-
okay.
And that's why our White Cane scholarship application needed to be redone, because the graphics on the old application were confusing the screen readers.
Wow.
So, so anyway, I mean, we as sighted people don't even think about that stuff, you know,
No, we
Right.
don't.
Right,
not even on our radar. So,
right.
it really takes working with somebody who is blind and visually impaired to point these things out. And
Well-
definitely it makes some improvements. So I just wanted to, you know, like I say, I just got this the other day. I didn't know anything about it. But I think we need to think about, you know, what this is happening, and take a look at it and watch it. And like I say, my the lady over in Muskegon, Rosemary, she's one of our long-term winter campers, and she's very technically literate, and does a lot of things on the computer. And she's been president of their club, but she said it's like impossible to be the treasurer, the secretary, if you're blind. So,
Mhm.
excuse me.
Well, I'm gonna say that I hope it passes, because with my disability, I have cerebral palsy, and I just found out that my left eye is almost blind.
Hmm.
I can barely see things, but I don't have no peripheral vision anymore.
Wow.
And it's due to my disability.
Wow.
So, and my right eye is getting worse. So,
Wow.
and everything, like I'm reading right now the agenda. I
Uh-huh.
have to read the agenda with my glasses on,
Okay.
because I can zoom in, but I can't see everything.
Hmm.
Well, then that's one of the reasons that, let's see, if I did this,
Yeah, that's better.
that might help. So I'll remember that, Kenny, and when I send something out, I'll make sure I put it in large font.
Okay, thank you.
One of the things that's been interesting with our Lions, it's called the Clear Lake Lions Virtual Lions Club. That's our folks that are blind. They what was my thought here? They, you know, it's like everybody communicates differently. So, you know, we found it very somewhat challenging to try to communicate with the range of folks we have that have different levels of ability. You know, from a technical standpoint, we go from people that are, you know, very well versed in the computer and different applications to, you know, just being on the phone. And so we're constantly learning. And this guy that's the secretary, he is his job is actually accessibility for the Massachusetts Council of the Blind up in he works remotely, but that's what he does all day, work on accessibility type problems. And so it's been helpful with him to be very familiar with the issues of blindness and how to navigate them. So we're all learning a lot with that. But
Is this a national bill or a state bill?
I think it's a national bill.
Okay. Maybe the
Tammy.
Lions, and with the Lions Pride, we can have like a letter writing campaign to our representatives and ask them to support it, and then make sure they have not the representatives, make sure that the bill, they have some kind of people to police it. I don't want to say police, but make sure it gets enforced rather.
Enforcement, right.
Do you have a bill number or? is there a bill number?
If there's let me see. Yes, there is. It is S4998.
S4998.
And
Okay.
then 8, that I guess that's Senate, and then House HR 9021.
Oh, wait a minute.
So that'd be that's House of Representatives. The first one is a Senate bill.
Give me those two numbers again. S 4998.
Yep, S dot 4998, and then H dot R dot 9021. So it was both houses.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a national thing.
So it's at what level did you say it was at?
Well, it's the Senate, the
National.
national.
So it's gone through it's in the House and in the Senate. It hasn't passed the House,
No,
I
It
think
hasn't-
it's just been introduced.
just introduced. Okay.
So it's probably in the beginning stages
in the committee.
of its becoming a bill, becoming a law. So
Okay.
I think it's you know, I think how we can be effective is to talk to our congressional representatives and senators to say, hey, you need to vote for this. So, you know, get them fired up about it.
And we need to we need to publicize this bill as far as being able to let the districts know about the bill. Because
Right.
if you just found out, I didn't know. So I'm sure there's a whole lot of other people who do not know. So if you could put out the bill itself, you know, explaining or whatever is out there for us, so people will know,
Right,
you know, what's going on.
right.
Coupled with that, I want to ask the question. Now, on the district side, now I asked Sam, and Sam is working on that piece as far as getting the information out to our district. Now,
Uh-huh.
with this committee, can we independently do things in our district, or everything must come back through this committee? That I wasn't familiar with.
I mean, it doesn't have to come back through this committee, but if you bring it back to this committee, then we might be able to distribute it a little more widely if we know what's going on.
Okay, so I guess what I'm saying, then we can distribute in our own district and send it to you for the publication with all the districts.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, and then the other thing is, I was looking at my proclamation, and last year I had April the 23rd to May 2nd. Is that what you just gave me? Well, I guess I'm trying to figure out, White Cane Week can be multiple dates, right? It can
Yeah.
be,
Some,
you know, because I have it in April, but I think we just said it was October. So it's different segments.
they're two different, they're not necessarily coupled together.
Okay,
They essentially celebrate the same thing. But the White Cane Week is a Lions thing. And the White Cane Safety Day is a more broad celebration through the blind community. So you've got the National Federation of the Blind, the American Federation of the Blind, you've got the Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. There are multiple organizations that work with persons who are blind and visually impaired. And so they're not necessarily all tied in with the Lions Club, okay? I mean, there'll be people in Lions Clubs that are part of those organizations, but they are their own organizations. And for them, White Cane Safety Day, October 15th, is the day.
gotcha.
That's their celebration day. And White Cane Week, because I asked Wendy, I said, okay, so why is White Cane Week in April?
Yeah,
And so I guess it all goes back to, you know, quite a few years ago when they actually had a big, like they'd have parades, you know, and it was like a big celebration that the Lions Clubs were. And, you know, and so I don't know. So I could probably find out some more history, which would be interesting for you, I think.
White Cane
Clarify
Safety,
a little bit better. But
White Cane Safety Day is a national thing, and White Cane Week is a Michigan thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
All right. I was just wondering, because I've been saying for the last 2 years, I've been using April. So I didn't want to be
Yeah.
wrong.
Well, you weren't wrong.
Okay,
You weren't wrong. That's like I say, that's when the Lions in Michigan say that this is when we do it.
okay,
And,
okay.
and as Kenny said, you can do it, you really do it anytime because we did it in August last year. We because of COVID, we did one in August. And so we didn't necessarily go the whole week, but like our folks will go out on maybe 2 days during that time frame, to collect money. So it's just,
Okay.
that's just kind of how they have it set up. And like I say, so Larry, was that you that was talking about the National Day?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
yes.
So Larry, how long you've been on this committee for a while, right?
Just 2 years.
Okay, all right.
And I'm legally blind myself and
Are you?
blind in one eye. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yep. I've been on the OUB board for 18 years, but I'm not anymore.
Okay. Opportunities unlimited for the blind.
Yep. Right.
Those of you who don't know what OUB stands for. Gwen does a great job.
Yeah, she does.
She does a great job. I've talked to her numerous times.
Yep.
The OUB, it's a camp, and essentially they teach life skills to young people that are blind and visually impaired. That's what I know about it. Do they do more? Is that pretty much the focus?
That's basically it. That's the main
Right.
focus.
Right. So I appreciate everybody's input tonight. And if you, we're at an hour. We're at an hour and 10 now. So I don't want to keep people longer. So, but if you have other ideas of things that we should be doing, I will also try to write this up and send it out to all the members that weren't able to be here and yourselves. Any other questions before we sign off for the night? It's been a
Could you
great.
give me Rosemary's last name? I would like to get in contact with her if
Sure.
I could.
Sure, I'll send you her email address, but it's FACILLA, Rosemarie. But I can.
Okay, and you're gonna send me her contact information?
Yep. The person that sent the note about the bill was B. Furman. She's over in Jackson, and she's been blind since she's was. I don't know that she's ever had sight. I think she was born with blindness, but she just finished up as the president of their club in Jackson and is now a zone chair.
You
So-
have her contact? When you get time, could you just text it to me? Don't
Sure.
take time now. Text me B's information and Rosemary. I like to talk with them.
Yep, I'll be glad to do that.
Appreciate it.
All right.
And I'm sorry because well, this is my first year on this committee,
Uh-huh.
but we really dealt more in our district with diabetes.
Uh-huh.
And that's what we were centrally doing. So I wasn't really apprised. I know I saw the name, but I really wasn't apprised of what you guys really were doing.
Right.
So.
Yeah,
you
well,
do
it
good
was
work.
it was fairly new to be independent from the diabetes committee 2
Mhm.
years ago. 2 years ago. So
Right.
So like I say, we've been kind of feeling our way of other than the main things that we are responsible for, like the scholarships, is to how's the best way we can be effective, and now that the diabetes grant is done, I'm not sure what I'm assuming that those activities will continue, but
In my district, the diabetes thing is still alive and doing halfway decent.
good. Well, I know I don't think it'll ever stop, since that's now one of the 5 pillars of service for the Lions. So there will be lots of activities going on, but I know we had that, the state had that like $250,000 grant, I think it was.
Right. And we had those classes.
Yep.
So I think ours, I think we have exhausted our part of the money,
Right. I think
taken
most-
through those different classes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next, if they get another grant or, you know, if they continue. But I'm sure that there will be a lot of local grassroots efforts just to keep doing diabetes testing and awareness, you know, activities and things like that. So, you know, it's all good things, and really diabetes is one of the major causes of blindness. So
Yeah.
it's well worth you know, keeping the pressure on, so to speak. So
And just one more thing, Line Roger,
Sure.
when will we start? I mean, what is the cutoff date or cutoff period for these applications for the scholarship?
well, they need to be postmarked by no later than December 30th of 2022.
So probably in January or yeah, in January, we'll probably be receiving an email telling us about all the scholarships.
Yep, we so we need to, so we would be presenting them at the end of February with the forum. So typically what happens, Lula, is that in January we will be meeting probably a couple of times. We'll send out the applications to all the members, and I think she does that hard copy. We could do email, but there's a lot of stuff that goes in those things. And they need to have like a diagnosis of their, you know, of their blindness. And then they have letters of recommendation. And so January is a real busy month for us in that regard, to go through those applications and then kind of evaluate, you know, where you would rate these candidates. And then we get together and we sort of go through our ratings and, you know, talk about if you have anybody that you want to talk about individually or things that you see that are really great. You know, and then we kind of just come to a consensus as to where we net out on the top 3 or hopefully 4. So
Okay, thanks.
so January is going to be will be a busy month for that. So
Okay,
Can I make a motion, we have meeting be adjourned?
you may.
second,
All those in favor?
Item.
I
And thank you for letting me join you all. I would love to join the committee. I just don't have a lot of time. It was a great meeting, but I'd like to come back and visit. Thank you very much.
Be glad to have you. All right. Well, thanks everybody, and have a great night.
Okay.
Good night.
You
Good
too.
job.
Good night,
Denise.
everybody.
good night.
Nice
Good night.
job,
Bye.
Roger.
Thanks.